Good afternoon. My name is Adam Olsen. I'm the MLA for Saanich North in the Islands, and thank you for joining me on this first episode of the Public Circle Live. The Public Circle is a public participation, our community engagement and outreach program that we've been hosting regular town halls and dialogues here in the Constituency Office in Saanich North in the Islands, and I'm going to be starting this weekly video at the Friday afternoons every week to talk about some of the issues that are going on in the constituency and in the government, the provincial government in British Columbia. So I encourage you to check us out online on Facebook every Friday afternoon, about 4 o'clock, 4:30, depending on when my meeting schedule gets completed. Try to do it around 4 o'clock every Friday. And as well, share these videos with your friends and family so that we can stay connected with what's going on in our riding in Saanich North in the Islands, but as well with what's going on in your provincial government. We have a session starting spring session starting next Tuesday, so there's going to be a lot going on for sure in your provincial legislature. So today is Friday, February the 9th, as you know, and this is the first episode, and this is my first attempt to do this regular piece where we give this update. One issue that I'd like to chat about today, that I'd like to have a little bit to go a little bit in depth on, because we had quite a long meeting in our office this afternoon. Friday afternoons is when I usually have the constituency meetings, especially when the legislature is in session. When we're down in the legislature from Monday to Thursday, I'm in the constituency office here in Sidney on Fridays. And today we had a meeting about cannabis production, which is a hot button issue, especially here on the Saanich Peninsula and around the southern Gulf Islands. Cannabis production on agricultural land, reserve land, the ALC, Agricultural Land Commission land, and there are substantial challenges. There's no question about it. We've got this product, cannabis, which the federal government is legalizing, and all of the provinces and territories have to comply with that and create rules and regulations around the distribution of and enforcement side of it, which the provincial government is going to be doing in this spring session of the legislature. The federal government is controlling the production side of it, the licenses for production. But currently, there is no restriction on growing cannabis on ALR, on agricultural land, reserve land. There's this as I said, a very significant conversation that I had with a number of residents of the Saanich Peninsula today about a proposal to build a very large cannabis production facility on the Saanich Peninsula. There's a lot of concerns around what that means, and of course I've got a lot of experience working around the agricultural file from a political side of it, both as a Central Saanich councillor and now as an MLA, and it's not just as easy as perhaps folks would like it to be. We're dealing with an industry that has got substantial challenges already, and talking about agriculture, not cannabis, but agriculture. Has substantial challenges, rising cost of agricultural land, inputs, finding markets for the products. They're well discussed. And then there's also the expectation from the public that the ALC or the ALR land is there to protect food security, which it is there to protect the production of food and farming. It's not necessarily there to protect food security, but there is an expectation from the public that it does deal with and address the food security issue. You know, we don't want to have our food produced too far away from us. So this was all part of the conversation that we have. And what I would suggest about this very important issue and significant challenge that we have with this industry is that as we're moving from having cannabis illegal for broad public consumption to the legalization process, that we should have a discussion about where this product is best grown, where the facilities are best located, And there is a very legitimate challenge that people have brought to our attention with respect to growing and building these facilities, largely large concrete facilities, that not necessarily the glass greenhouses that you're considering or that you're thinking they might be, on prime agricultural land. And I think that the people that I met with made a very good point and a strong point that we should have the opportunity to have that discussion. While agricultural land is there for growing plants and raising animals, and we recognize that and we respect that, and in many we buy the products from the farmers, I think that it's important that as we're moving this product from being illegal through the legalization process, that we have the ability to have that. And so the moratoriums that have been called on this industry, saying that we shouldn't just allow it directly, or that there shouldn't be a conversation about this. The request for a moratorium on the growing of cannabis in the ALR, in the ALC, while we have this discussion, I think is a valid one, and it gives us the opportunity to have a conversation with the public about where it is that this product should be grown, where it's best grown, whether or not we want to use prime agricultural land with high quality soils for building large facilities on, or whether or not there's other places that are more suitable. Lower quality soils in commercial or industrial zones are examples that we've heard in the public. So I think that it is important for us to be able to have this conversation, especially considering the fact that this product is currently illegal, other than the medical piece of it, side of it. It's currently illegal, and we're moving through the process to legalizing it. So while this may not help us currently, because we actually need to take some action on this part of it now, there's lots of speculation going on of where this is going to be grown and who's going to grow it and where. There is a consultation underway right now. Agriculture Minister Lana Popham announced last week a panel, 9 members, that are going to be that have produced a discussion paper, and they want the public's input on what the Agricultural Land Commission, the Agricultural Land Reserve, the ALR as it's affectionately known, means to you. They want your input. They've got, in the discussion paper, they've got some specific aspects of the Agricultural Land Commission Act that they want public comment on. And I really encourage everybody in Saanich North and the Islands and right across British Columbia to engage this. This is a very important conversation. Is it just about protecting land? Is it about protecting land and food security? Is it just about food security? These are all important conversations that we can have about the values of agricultural land in our province. And you know, we know that we need to have food produced close to us. The further it gets away from us, frankly, the more dangerous it is for our society. We need to be able to sustain ourselves. And so this is a very important conversation. There were some changes made by previous governments. We want to have a conversation about that and invite you to be a part of that conversation. You can have your say. You can take part in the consultation. I really encourage you to do so at engage.gov.bc.ca/agricultural land reserve. Read the discussion paper and leave your feedback for the ministry. Consultations will be going on until the end of April. And so while this consultation may deal with some of the issues surrounding the production of cannabis, that's true, it may not be as soon as we need to have a decision made. Because as Minister Popham has stated in the press release and all the information around this, we're looking at probably the late fall of 2018, early 2019, before some of the recommendations that are made in this consultation will be moved to legislation and create legislation around it. So we've got a little bit of time for the consultation, quite a bit of time before any legislation is made, which means that as we're moving towards the first part of the subject that I talked about, the legalization of cannabis, which needs to be done by July 1st, and a lot of speculation on where that product is going to be grown, I think it does require some more immediate action on behalf of the government to ensure that British Columbians can have a say in where this product, cannabis, can and should be grown. So once again, if you want to have your say, and I highly and strongly encourage you to please have your say on the Agricultural Land Commission consultation, you would go to engage.gov.bc.ca/agricultural land reserve, and you'll find all the information. You'll find the discussion paper as well as a questionnaire. I still haven't taken the survey yet. I've read the discussion paper. Looks pretty good. I've got some opinions on it. Perhaps in a future video, I'll share it with you. So one final thing before I jump off here and off of the live video here today is the session for the spring session of the legislature starts on Tuesday. I'm quite excited about it. We're looking forward to a number of things in the budget. Of course, we're looking towards the beginning of a childcare program, which is very important for so many British Columbians. I know many of my peers certainly look forward to having some help in terms of their family and affordability when it comes to some support around childcare. And perhaps the biggest piece that we're dealing with in this province right now is a housing affordability crisis. The province has committed to dealing with both the supply and the demand side of that. We've been starting to align some of the supply, some of the projects in Saanich North and the Islands in expectation of the fact that there's going to be some investment made on the supply side from the government, some support for those projects, but as well on the demand side, dealing with speculation, dealing with the damaging flow of capital from foreign markets, dealing with people who invest here but don't live here and don't contribute to the Canadian economy. We're looking for quite a strong package, and I and my BC Green colleagues from the BC Green Caucus put forward a discussion paper, or it's not really a discussion paper, but a number of initiatives that we would like to see in the budget. We have published that last week. You can find it at bcgreens.ca. You can find that information there. On our housing policy paper, we really are encouraging the government to take bold action on housing. I know British Columbians want it. I know British Columbians are dismayed that there are many people are no longer able to live here and afford to live here. We need to take action on this, and I'm looking forward to the budget, which is 2 Tuesdays from now, where we'll start to see that. We'll see the government lay out their entire legislative agenda, the goals that they're looking to achieve. We'll start to see that laid out in the throne speech next Tuesday. If you don't have anything else to do, next Tuesday around 2 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock, tune into the BC Legislative channel. Go to Legislative Assembly website. You can watch the live video there. You can see what your government's got planned in the upcoming throne speech. I'm looking forward to it. We've got the next 4 months. We're going to be in the legislature Monday through Thursday, and then I'll be in the constituency office again on Fridays. We've got a number of weeks off throughout the session, so if you're on the Gulf Islands, you'll start to see some dates in the near future about when I'll be on the Gulf Islands next. And finally, this is the Public Circle Live. The Public Circle next community dialogue, we're planning it for some time at the end of March. We're taking a bit of a month off here as we're getting back into the session. We want to make sure that we got our feet planted firmly on the ground in the Big Stone building down in Victoria. We will be back with our Public Circle community dialogue. We're going to be talking about transportation. The number of organizations that I've met, community groups that I've met, that have highlighted transportation as being, next to housing, one of the biggest issues in this riding. Housing and healthcare and transportation. There's a lot of them, but transportation always comes to the top as being a very important subject for people in our riding. So that is going to be the subject of our next community dialogue. Looking for that sometime in March. visit our website, adamolsen.ca. You'll be able to find out all the information on our website about the transportation discussion. We'll be publishing it on this Facebook page /Olsen for MLA. You can hit me up on Twitter, although I don't tweet often. I'm on Twitter at Adam P. Olsen. You can find me on Instagram, Adam Philip Olsen. I know. I should have probably created one handle for everything. I've been on social media a long time. Didn't evolve that way. Find me on Instagram, Adam Philip Olsen. And I don't have enough views on my YouTube channel in order to get my own personalized YouTube URL. So just go to my website. You'll see on the sidebar, you'll see where you can get a hold of me on all my social media. Thanks a lot for watching today. And please share this video and leave comments. If you have any questions, I'll be back again next Friday on these videos. You can ask me a question and I'll do my best to answer it. And if we don't have an answer for it, then we'll go out and see if we can find one for you. So thanks a lot for watching. And so until next time, this is the Public Circle Live. Thank you and Hayekwa.